Welcome back to Buzz Recaps. Today, I will explain a drama fantasy film released in 2008. The movie begins with Professor David attending an interview where he has come for the promotion of his new book. David is a well-known, respected professor whose thinking differs from others. During the interview, David is asked about his personal life and relationships. It becomes clear that for David, relationships or marriage mean only intimacy, which is why he got married in the first place. He explains that times have changed now. People date each other without fear, and they don't need to get married to be together. David is now getting older, and his life is slowly changing. However, in his mind, he still feels as young as he used to be. Later, one day, a girl named Consuela enters David's life as a student. Ever since David's college faced scrutiny for sexual harassment cases, he has avoided having any personal contact with any student. However, Consuela is different, and in a way, she pulls David toward her. At a party at his house, David talks to Consuela and slowly begins to impress her with his words. When David invites her to watch a play with him, Consuela agrees. David is also having an affair with his friend Caroline, who has been out of town for weeks due to her work. However, she doesn't know that David is not exclusively involved with her. He wants to live with freedom, and for this freedom, he left his wife and son Kenny. Kenny always tries to talk to David, but David never engages with him. The next evening, David goes to see a play with Consuela, and they both go to David's house afterward. At Consuela's request, David plays piano for her. After showing Consuela his house, David moves closer to her. That night, David tells his friend George everything that happened. George tells him that he is an old man and Consuela is a young girl, so he shouldn't think about pursuing any relationship. However, David insists that he and Consuela are very close. They both know each other's personal details and want to spend time with each other. Moreover, because of this relationship, David begins to change. The man who likes to be free and doesn't want to label any relationship now wants to talk to Consuela all the time. He becomes afraid that someone of Consuela's age will take her away from him. David's friend tells him that he will have to end this relationship as soon as possible because one day Consuela will leave him and David will not be able to bear it. However, David cannot do that. As their relationship deepens, David's fear also increases. Whenever Consuela is not with him, he suspects that she is with someone else, although she always tells David that she only likes him. One night, David goes to keep an eye on Consuela. She becomes angry at this and tells David that he should trust her. Both David and his friend are surprised by this action and laugh about it because David has never done anything like this before. Later, after being away from David for 2 days, Consuela meets him and asks what he wants from this relationship, since David has never taken any relationship seriously until now. David tells her that he is afraid because of their age gap. One day, Consuela will realize that her whole life is ahead of her and David is just an old man. David used to be a confident man who never felt the need to be with anyone in life. However, with Consuela, his confidence has started to diminish. His confidence is temporarily restored by Caroline. David begins to get entangled between Consuela and Caroline. One day, Caroline discovers that he is having an affair with another girl. David starts hiding this fact and claims that he doesn't want to lose Caroline when, in reality, he needs both her and Consuela. For a year, David and Consuela's relationship continues. Then Consuela tells him that her family knows about David and she wants him to meet them. David avoids this request every time, but when he sees that Consuela is suffering from his refusal, he agrees to meet her family. David is afraid that Consuela's family and friends will notice his age, talk about it, and make fun of him. He is unable to hide this fear. The next morning, David goes to Consuela's party but cannot bring himself to go inside her house. He makes an excuse and tells her that he could not attend the party. Consuela understands that David is lying, even though she knows it was important for David to meet her parents. When David reaches home, he receives a message from Consuela. In it, she says that she loves David very much but can no longer live with him. Later, that night, David's son Kenny comes to meet him. Kenny reveals that his marriage is breaking up and he is having an affair with someone else. Kenny just wants to talk to David and, as a son, wants his father's help because he can neither leave his wife nor his girlfriend. They discuss these matters because Kenny doesn't want to be like his father. In anger, Kenny leaves. After that night, Consuela never calls David again. After Consuela leaves, David is so hurt that he stops eating, and his friend George comes to take care of him. George tells David that after many years, he is falling in love with his wife again, and all the troubles in his marriage are going to end. George is going to be honored in a ceremony, and he insists that David attend and give a speech. During the speech, something happens to George, and he faints on stage. George suffers a paralytic attack and dies the same day. After George's death, David's view of marriage changes. He talks to both Kenny and Caroline and tells Caroline everything about Consuela. He admits that he was in love with her, but perhaps that relationship was a mistake. For the first time in 20 years of friendship, Caroline and David both express what is truly on their minds, and for the first time, they understand each other. From that day forward, David accepts his old age and starts living accordingly. However, even after 2 years, he cannot get over George's death and the loss of Consuela. He focuses solely on his work and stops being attracted to his students the way he used to be. One day, David suddenly receives a message from Consuela, who who wants to talk to him and tell him something. David's heart breaks as he realizes that he has been waiting for Consuela's voice for so many years. After talking to Consuela, he discovers that she is back in town and wants to meet him. After years apart, they finally meet each other again. After a while, Consuela tells him that she has cancer and that her surgery is scheduled in 2 weeks. David starts crying upon hearing this news. Consuela explains that after learning she had cancer, she realized that she had lost many important things in her life. Consuela wants David to take a picture of her before the surgery so that he will always remember her. She has been taking care of herself alone, and David doesn't want her to continue doing this. He wants to be with Consuela and tries to help her despite her refusals. David goes to Kenny, who is a well-known doctor. After talking to Consuela's doctor, Kenny discovers that Consuela's surgery is the next day, not 2 weeks later as she claimed. For the first time, David and Kenny start talking to each other properly. Kenny has always wanted to have his father in his life, and that day he finally finds the father he had been waiting for all these years. Later, after the surgery, Kenny allows David to visit Consuela, and David meets her at the hospital. Consuela says that she thought David would not come because she is no longer as beautiful as she was before. However, David remembers what his friend George always told him, that often people can only see external beauty and never see inner beauty, or they don't want to see it. David explains to her that she is still beautiful and will always be beautiful. In the end, David stays with Consuela and promises her that he will always be with her. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.